Hi everyone, Religious Fanboy here again, and today we are gonna be reading chapter 4. I am not quite sure if I started the chapter already, because the first three chapters are attached to the same section on when injustice seems to prevail. Um I will reread it just in case. But if you haven't read the if you haven't went through Ecclesiastes chapter 3 by yourself yet, or or have watched the video on Ecclesiastes chapter 3, feel free to do one of those two things or both if you feel like doing both. Before you watch the rest of this video, um just because I will reread that part, and I want you guys to still make sure you guys have access to full context. Um, so I'm gonna read that section, and then the first talking point will be after if the Bible you guys use, if it has like the side titles and stuff, um it will be the will be talking about the section entitled "Vanity of Selfish Toil." And if you guys want me to discuss the part about injustice seems to prevail, please comment in the description below, and I will make sure that either I'll have a discussion with you in the comments about it, or if you prefer me to do a third video on the section, just talking about that section specifically, I will do that too. That's also fine. Or if like you're someone from like Discord, like feel free. There's like a link to my server. Like you can join my server, and I'll be happy to talk to you that way too. Just whatever is best for you. Um, and with that being said, feel free to pause it, and I will start reading. Yeah. Um, and if you guys do read along, please put if there's like a preferred translation or a translation that you use to read along, and if there's a specific translation that like just hearing me read would make it easier for you to understand, please do that, because I would like you guys to be able to fully understand what we are discussing, or to the best of our ability understand what we're discussing, and reading. Um, so let me know in the comments, please. I'm gonna start reading now. Then I returned and considered all the oppression that is done under the sun, and took the tears of the oppressed, but they have no comforter on the side of their oppressors. There is power, but they have no comforter. Therefore I praise the dead who were already dead more than the living who are still alive. Yet better than both is he who has never existed, who has not seen the evil work that is done under the sun. Um Actually, I remember talking to one of my friends that's another Christian YouTuber about this, because I had questions about how this particular one of the verses was particularly worded, and what the explanation we kind of came down to, it was that the guy that this is from the perspective of was happy for those who were not born yet, because they had yet to see these. They haven't seen the terrible things that are done on the earth yet, and haven't been victim of the oppression yet and stuff. Um, and if you want more of a description on like the section part of this that is talked about in chapter 3, that I will make sure there is, like, you should be able to find the video for Ecclesiastes chapter 3, okay, but I will make sure there's a link to the last Bible study video in the description. um the and, and now I'm gonna start on verse 4. Again I saw that for all toil and every skillful work a man is invited by his neighbor. This also is vanity and grasping. Oh, it's envied by his neighbor. This also is vanity and grasping for the wind. The fool folds his hands and consumes his own flesh. Better a handful with quietness than both hands full together with toil and grasping for the wind. Then I returned and then I returned and saw vanity under the sun. There there is one alone, and there is one alone without companion. He has neither son nor brother, yet there is no end to all his labors, nor his eye is satisfied with riches, but he asks, for whom do I toil and deprive myself of good? This also is vanity and a grave misfortune. Um, the, um, I get talking about how not not trying to. It talks about not over consuming and trying to get as much worldly delights and worldly experience as you can. But and it also says like not depriving yourself to the point where like you you struggle for, I no need for like, I if it's struggling and depriving yourself for no other reason than for doing that, it also like frowns upon that. If you guys ever have any questions, feel free to contact me any way you can, or any way that's comfortable for you to ask questions. Because I definitely want this channel and like the people who watch to feel comfortable asking questions or challenging me or each other. in civil ways if that's ever needed. I'm gonna continue reading. Two are better than one because they have a good reward for their labor. For if they fall, one will lift up his companion. But woe to him who is alone when he falls, for he has no one to help him up. Again, if two lie down together, they will keep warm. But how can one be warm alone? Though one may be overpowered by another, two can withstand him. And therefore, in a threefold cord is not quickly broken. Um, this talks about the this passage shows the Bible and a Christian's walk in those aspects of our lives, the importance of fellowship, and why it's always good to have good God honoring people that you can rely on and feel free to talk to about anything. Like a lot of them are like a lot of people for me are like close family members. My own personal church family. If I pray and hope that you guys have good church families where you guys go. Um, and also I want you guys to know to never be afraid to ask for help, because and and it's also why I get annoyed when some people try to discourage people from asking questions. Because if someone feels it's important enough to ask a question, especially about the stuff we usually talk about in church, then they need your help. And if you are informed and able to help, I feel that's what God calls us to do in those moments, is to help our fellow brothers and sisters in Christ, or just people in general that are struggling. I'm gonna continue reading again. Better a poor and wise fool than an old and foolish king who will be ab- abon- ad- admonished no more. For he comes out of prison to be king, although he was born poor in his kingdom. I saw all the living who walk under the sun. They were with the second youth who stands in his place. There was no end of all people over whom he was made king. Yet those who come afterward will not rejoice in him. Surely this is also vanity and grasping for wind. Um, this kind of talks about like the importance of having wisdom over having worldly power. Um, and like it kind of talks about how like kings are usually remembered, but also if they if people didn't do a good job as kings, they wouldn't be thought of or remembered positively when they've passed. Um, and with that being said, may God be with you. Happy New Year. I look forward to seeing all of you guys in 2019. And with that being said, may God be with you and see you next time. Bye.